Have you ever wished you could read someone's mind? Imagine walking into a room, and just by looking into someone's eyes, you know what they're feeling. You sense their worries, their intentions, even the truth they're too afraid to say. Sounds like a superpower, right? But what if I told you that it's a skill, not magic, and that anyone, yes, even you, can learn it? Today, I'm going to tell you a story that takes us back thousands of years to the time of the Buddha. A story about a blind man. Yes, a man who could not see, who developed such an extraordinary ability to read people's minds that even kings came to him for answers. And through this story, I'll show you the first steps to developing this skill for yourself. Because understanding others, truly understanding them, could change everything. Your relationships, your work, your inner peace. So stay with me till the end. What you'll discover might just shift the way you see the world and the people in it. Long ago, in a peaceful village surrounded by rice fields and forest, lived two brothers. The older brother was blind. He stayed home most days. The younger brother worked hard in the fields, but no matter how hard he worked, wild animals kept coming at night, destroying the crops. All his effort, gone overnight. Frustrated and desperate, the younger brother had an idea. He built a small hut in the middle of the field. Then he asked his blind brother to sit there during the night. "If you hear anything," he said, "just shout, make a loud noise, scare them off." And it worked. Each time an animal approached, the blind man would shout, and the animals fled. The crops were saved. The harvest that year was better than ever. You see, even without eyes, the older brother had developed a deep awareness. He used what he had, his ears, his mind, and his presence, to serve and protect. That's the first lesson of reading others. Awareness isn't about eyesight. It's about attention. One day, a deer crashed through the fence and ran across the field. Right behind it came a group of royal hunters, and at the front of the hunt, the king himself. The king stopped and asked the blind man, "Did you see a deer pass by?" The blind man replied calmly, "I didn't see it, but I can tell you, it's not worth chasing. That deer is a pregnant female." The king laughed. How can a blind man know that? But curiosity got the better of him. He sent a soldier to check, and sure enough, it was true. The deer was pregnant. Shocked, the king returned. "How did you know?" The blind man answered. The sound of her footsteps was heavier. She didn't leap the fence. She crashed through it. That's how I knew. Now pause for a second. Think about that. Would you have noticed that detail? This is what we miss when we're too busy reacting, too distracted to listen. Real understanding comes not from looking harder, but from listening deeper. Impressed, the king came back days later with a request. "My queen," he said, "I want to know if she's truly loyal to me. Can you help?" The blind man agreed, but only under one condition. He must be alone in a room with her. The king hesitated, but agreed. Inside the room, the blind man politely asked to touch her hand, to sense her reaction. The queen, furious, struck him. Later, the blind man told the king, "A truly loyal woman would have rejected me with words, not with violence. The fact that she hit me means she touched me first." and that reveals something deeper. The king confronted the queen, and she confessed. Now you may wonder, how could he know that? Because he understood human behavior. He knew that guilt often hides behind aggression, that when someone overreacts, they're not always defending truth, they're covering it. Still astonished, the king asked one final question. Am I truly the son of my father? The blind man paused, then said, You are the son of a god, but you live under the influence of a miser. That hit the king hard. He ran to his mother and asked for the truth, and she revealed it. His real father had died when he was young. A wealthy merchant had raised him, but never loved him. Tell me, the king asked, how did you know? The blind man replied, You ask many questions, but you never reward the answers. That tells me your values reflect someone who hoards rather than gives. The king was stunned, because it was true. This wasn't magic. It was perception. The blind man finally shared his secret. I may have no eyes, he said, but I see through the sound of your voice, the way you walk, how you breathe, what your hands do when you speak. And he left the king with this truth. The mind has a language of its own, and it speaks through the body. If we want to understand others, truly connect, we must become still, present, observant. This is not about invading someone's privacy. It's about cultivating empathy, sensitivity, and insight. And anyone can learn this. Because the ability to read minds is really the ability to read hearts. In the next video, I'll share with you the 4 exact techniques the blind sage used and how you can practice them in your daily life. But before that, I want to ask you, have you ever felt someone's emotions without them saying a word? Have you ever walked into a room and sensed tension or joy or pain? That's your inner wisdom speaking. Don't ignore it. If this story inspired you, share it with someone you care about. And don't forget to like the video. It helps us grow and bring more timeless wisdom to light. Until next time, stay aware, stay kind, and keep listening. Namo Buddhaya.